When it comes to food allergies, making a diagnosis is pretty black and white, right? The typical allergic reaction occurs immediately after you ingest a certain food, and the symptoms, whether it's a rash, hives, or swelling, they are pretty unmistakable, right? But for food sensitivities, they are much sneakier. In many cases, symptoms don't occur until several hours and sometimes days after you ate a problematic food. And even then, it can be vague and difficult to link to your diet. But it is important that you understand how specific foods may be causing weight loss resistance and that you discover the four offending foods that you might want to eliminate right now. But before we get started, let me introduce myself in case we haven't met yet. My name is Carmina Mebs. I am a health and precision nutrition level 1 coach, and I help women over 40 break free from sugar so that they can lose their belly fat and feel comfortable in their skin again. Okay, so back to these pesky food sensitivities. Did you know that in the United States, food sensitivities have become quite an epidemic? And it's largely fueled by the process of genetically modifying food. So gluten, dairy, corn, and soy are among the most common culprits. An estimated 18 million Americans suffer from gluten sensitivity alone. And these are the people who have figured it out. Millions more experience the symptoms that suggest that they may have a food sensitivity, but they have yet to identify the cause. So my son Richard, he had a food sensitivity for years, and I didn't know that he did. When he was in elementary school, from time to time, I would get a call from the nurse office for me to pick him up because he threw up at school, right? And the part that was strange was that he wasn't sick or anything, right? So I would pick him up, he would be fine. And I also noticed that in that period of time, that he had gained a considerable amount of weight, which was strange because we didn't have junk food in the house. We didn't go to McDonald's. There was no soda, no fruit juice in my house. So there was really nothing I can take out of his diet, right? So it got to a point where the throwing up happened often enough that it started to worry me. So I took him to the doctor to help explain this mystery. So after running a battery of tests, the doctor concluded that he wasn't allergic to anything, but most likely he was sensitive to some type of food. And my job as his mom was to play detective and keep a log of what he ate and notice when he had an episode. Well, that took me a good month to figure out. And turns out that shrimp was the culprit. And what made it hard to decipher was that the symptoms didn't show up until a day or two later. And it doesn't help that he absolutely loved shrimp, right? But once we eliminated it completely from his diet, not only did the vomiting start, but gradually he started to release the weight without going on any type of diet, which I was totally opposed to at his age. And so I want to share with you 4 signs that you might have food sensitivity and also give you a brief explanation of how each symptom occurs so that you can avoid the trial and error that we had to go through to figure it out. So number 1 is weight gain or the inability to lose weight. So you've tried every dry diet out there and nothing seems to work for you. You're constantly hungry no matter how much you eat. When you suffer from a food sensitivity, it causes chronic inflammation, which impairs your brain's ability to communicate with your hormones. And one of these hormones is leptin, which is released after you eat so that you can feel satisfied. So without the brain receiving the message from leptin, you continue to feel hungry even after a big meal. Number 2 is fatigue. No matter how much sleep you get, you're always exhausted. You find yourself dozing off during the day, and you're constantly grabbing sugary or starchy snacks to get your energy back. When your body is sensitive to a certain food, it also causes an inflammatory response in your digestive system. And that causes your adrenal glands to release cortisol as an anti-inflammatory. This puts extra stress on your adrenal gland, leaves you feeling fatigue. Number 3, migraines and headaches. You notice that your headaches tend to occur after you eat certain foods, or maybe several hours after a meal, or even when you wake up the next morning, right? So a headache of any kind is a sign of inflammation in your head. So it's not surprising that food sensitivities could be to blame. A recent study showed that 56% of people who had been diagnosed with migraine headaches or of any kind actually had an underlying gluten sensitivity. Number 4, joint pains. You're all over achy, but there doesn't seem to be any logical explanation. You're too young for arthritis, and you're not a hardcore athlete either. So what gives? So again, food sensitivities equal inflammation. Here, you're experiencing an inflammatory response, but in your joints. So if any of these symptoms resonate with you, there is a good chance that food sensitivities are to blame. Now, I've been helping clients break through their weight loss resistance, by identifying food sensitivities. And once they go through the process, they can't believe how much easier it's been for them to release the excess weight. So I'm incredibly excited to share the same strategies with you in my 21-day Metabolic Reset. Okay? If you tried counting calories, you tried yo-yo dieting and any other weight loss strategies, and nothing has worked long term to bring you the weight loss that you want, then this is for you. I hope that you'll join us on May 18 when we kick off the cleanse, because I know what a huge difference this can make for you. From personal experience, I do this cleanse myself a couple times a year. And last week, 10 days into the cleanse, I had already shed 5 pounds while feeling nourished and energized. And I know that you will too. So if you're looking for guidance to restart your healthy lifestyle, I'm here to help. This is what I love to do. So I have an early bird prize, a special that ends this Sunday. So make sure that you register early to save your spot at a great price. So to register, go to bit.ly/21-day cleanse with a dash in between. So have a great day, and I hope to see you again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.